Picture a location where bygone empires ascend and decline, where varied communities intermingle, and where the pursuit of resources collides with a yearning for self-governance. What makes this area the epicenter of numerous conflicts? What ignites tensions that resonates across the globe? In this video, we are going on a journey into the heart of one of the world's most complex and enduring enigmas. The Middle East, a region where history, culture, and power converge in a mesmerizing tapestry of stories. Diversity and characteristics of the Middle East. The Middle East is widely recognized for its elevated levels of tension and conflict. The region remains locked in, an ongoing quest to address its intricate challenges, which hinder its path toward achieving lasting peace. Middle Eastern nations grapple with conflicts occurring within their borders, with neighboring countries and on global stage. The Middle East is a place with many different countries, and it's quite diverse in terms of the people, background, and cultures. In this region, the most countries tend to have the limited economic freedom and often have strict governments. Most people here speak Arabic, and the most commonly followed religion is Islam. The formation of the Middle East. The expression Middle East became widely used after World War II. It encompasses what was once referred as the Arab states of the West Asia and North Africa, which included countries in the Arab League, and non-Arab nations like Iran, Israel, Egypt, and Turkey. The Arab League plays a significant role in making decisions for its member state. A large portion of today's Middle East was formerly a part of the Ottoman Empire, and was subsequently divided by the Allies after the war. In response to the rise of the Arab nationalism, both tribal and religious identities, both before and after these historical events, have played a role in shaping conflicts in the region. The majority of the Ottoman Empire became modern nation of Turkey. Armenian territories were ceded to Russia and Lebanon. Large portion of Syria, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia were placed under French control. Iraq, Egypt, Palestine, Jordan, southern Yemen, and the remaining parts of Syria came under British administration. This status persisted until the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which paved the way for the independence in the mid-1960s. While it's geographically situated in North Africa, Egypt is often viewed as part of the Middle East due to centuries of migration between Egypt and other Middle Eastern nations. The region known as MENA, Middle East and North Africa, is sometimes seen as an extension of Greater Middle East, encompassing Israel and certain areas in Central Asia. Turkey is typically excluded from the Middle East and is not commonly included in the MENA region. If you're enjoying it so far, hit the subscribe button. Now let's continue. Origins of turmoil in the Middle East. Emerging sources of conflict. Highly notable and unforeseen events that emerged in the early years of these centuries include the 9/11 attacks in 2001, the Iraq War, which began in 2003 and had far-reaching consequences, the Arab Spring uprisings commencing in 2010, which resulted in the downfall of established Arab governments in Iraq, Tunisia, Egypt, and Libya. These events created instability in the region and had repercussions in neighboring areas. Iran's foreign policy and its pursuit of nuclear capabilities. The ongoing yet unresolved conflict between Palestine and Israel. Western media often places significant emphasis on the Middle East as a region associated with terrorism due to political Islamic ideologies. However, this portrayal is not entirely accurate. While there are limited extremist groups operating in this area, they represent only a small fraction of the population. In recent times, there has been a growing presence of political Islam. This shift signifies a departure from traditional pan-Arab ideologies, which many now view as outdated and ineffective. This transformation is frequently linked to a sense of personal and political humiliation, partly stemming from the foreign backing and direct interventions in support of repressive regimes. Origins of turmoil in the Middle East. Historical linkages. The primary form of conflicts in Middle East has predominantly been civil wars, while the Collier and Hoffler model, commonly used to identify poverty as a key precursor to conflict in Africa, is not as applicable to the Middle East. Researchers have found that when it comes to predicting conflicts in the Middle East, factors like ethnic dominance and regime type play more significant roles. Surprisingly, Islamic identity and oil dependency, despite frequent notion in Western media, do not emerge as highly significant predictors of conflict in this region. This is because the Middle East's intricate geopolitical landscape is closely tied to the supply of crucial energy sources, drawing major global players into intervening in regional tensions and conflicts. Disruption to the Middle East oil infrastructure would have profound global impact on the world's oil production and consequently the global economy. An illustrative example of this invasion of Iraq by the United States and the United Kingdom in 2003, an effort aimed at mitigating local conflicts during that period. Additionally, Israel has cooperated with the United States to maintain influence in the Arab world. Although this partnership has sparked controversy, as elaborated in our political power article. We briefly explored some of the causes of the conflict in the region, which can be condensed into competition for resources among nations, often exacerbated by their historical colonial influences. However, this explanation doesn't fully address why these conflicts tend to be so persistent. Insights from political science provide some clues, suggesting that this persistence is partly due to varying levels of economic development in the region, which can sustain military dominance only for a limited duration. Ongoing conflicts in Middle East. Below is a synopsis of primary conflicts in the Middle East. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict stands out as one of the most protracted conflicts, with its 70th anniversary marked in 2020. Other regions characterized by enduring conflicts include Afghanistan, the Caucasus, the Horn of Africa, and Sudan. The Middle East is host of two of the most internationally engaged wars, Iraq in 1991 and 2003. This region is heavily militarized, which is likely to sustain ongoing tensions for the foreseeable future. The Middle East is the historical birthplace of three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Among these, Islam is the largest practiced religion in the region. Within Islam, two primary branches exist, Sunni and Shia, with Sunnis representing the overwhelming majority, about 85%. Notably, Iran boasts a substantial Shia population, and Shia communities also constitute a significant minority countries such as Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq. The contrasting belief and practices within these two branches of Islam have fueled intra-Islamic rivalries and conflicts, both within individual countries and among neighboring nations. Furthermore, the presence of ethnic and historical tribal distinctions has contributed to cultural tensions, intensifying the situation. This includes the implementation of Sharia laws, which further compounds these complexities. Resource-based conflict, the role of fresh water. With a looming threat of global warming, many anticipate the forthcoming conflicts will revolve around the access to fresh water, which is primarily sourced from rivers in the Middle East. The region's river experienced a significant reduction in annual flow, with temperatures exceeding 50 degrees during summer of 2021. This decline can be attributed in part to the construction of dams and river basins, which heightens evaporation rates. Dam not only limits water accessibility, but can also escalate geopolitical tensions, as it may be perceived as one country actively obstructing another's water access and utilization of its rightful supply. In the face of water insecurity, not all nations can afford desalination, given its substantial costs, and are likely to explore less water-intensive farming practices as alternatives to address reduced freshwater availability. The Tigris and Euphrates River stands as contentious area, and the Israel-Palestine conflict over control of the River Jordan in Gaza exemplifies the significance of water resources in regional disputes. Ongoing conflicts persist in the region, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Afghanistan, the Caucasus, and the Horn of Africa and Sudan. The Middle East is a region with a long, complex history. and the conflict there is no exception. There are many factors that contribute to the conflict, including religious differences, ethnic tensions, and competition for resources. In this video, we have explored some of the key reasons why there is so much conflict in the Middle East. We have also looked at the impact that the conflict has had on the people of the region. The conflict in the Middle East is a complex and challenging issue. There is no easy solution, but it is important to understand the root causes of the conflict in order to find ways to resolve it. If you're interested in learning more about the conflict in the Middle East, I encourage you to do your own research. There are many resources available online and in libraries. You can also talk to experts on the subject. The more you know about the conflict in the Middle East, the better equipped you will be to understand the world around you and to make informed decisions about the future. I hope this video has been informative and thought-provoking. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. Thanks for watching.